The laws are against us. They said do what is right. And it was unheard of. If a black woman got pregnant out of wedlock, it was an embarrassment to the family. You would have to have a shotgun wedding. My worst nightmare when I was growing up is to make a baby out of wedlock because I knew I would have to get married. And that's the kind of moral standard, the type of moral standard that black Americans had. We did not rely on the government. We relied on our parents and one another. But when the government took over, all of that started to change. In the state of Indiana, one state alone, you have 80% of black babies born out of wedlock. And there is no outcry about it. They don't care because they want to keep black Americans down. You can only control an immoral people. If you are upright people, they cannot control you. In the state of Indiana, 80% of black babies are born out of wedlock. In Virginia and South Carolina, North Carolina area, you have 77% of black babies born out of wedlock. There is no shame about it because the government is there and it is taking away the shame, the embarrassment of having children out of wedlock. As a result of the government coming in, 70% of Planned Parenthood abortion mills are located within the inner cities because the government is there and so the people don't care. You have young girls as young as 12 and 13 years of age having abortions. I know so many stories that I could give you. I don't have time to do it today. But it's a sad situation because the government is paying for these kids to have these abortions. And because the character is gone, no morals and no values, the people don't care. Most black Americans, as a result of the government coming in, are suffering not because of racism, but the lack of moral character. It has nothing to do with racism, but the lack of moral character that wasn't there prior to the government coming in. The public school system, as a result of the government coming in. When I was going to school, I went to an all-black school, but there was a respect for the teachers, a respect for authority. It's no longer there now in the inner cities because the government is there. You know, I remember, long story short, I remember when I was in around the 9th grade or so, I had a fight with a young boy at school because I wanted to bat up first and he wanted to bat. And so we had this fight. My principal gave me a whooping, my teacher gave me a whooping, and when I got home, my grandmother was waiting for me. And at the time, we didn't have a telephone, so I don't know how she found out. But that's how close, you know, they were tight. We respected authority. But the government is there now, and it no longer exists in the inner city public schools around the country. I often tell parents that you would have to be blind, crippled, and crazy to send your child to a public school today. You have to wake up in the morning, and you say to yourself, you know, I hate my children. How can I punish them? I know, I'll send them off to school. They're teaching the kids how to have abortions, how to hate America, how to turn against their parents. They're teaching them that homosexuality is normal. And that stuff was not in the schools before. It wasn't about, the schools are not about reading, writing, and arithmetic and loving your country. It's about turning against your country. It's about demoralizing the children. That's why Barack Obama wanted to get to your kids earlier this week, because he knows that if he can brainwash them and demoralize them, they're going to vote for people like him when they're old enough to vote. And I'm glad that you protected your kids from that. It is the father and mother responsibility to protect their children from evil. And these people are evil. They wanted, I heard it said earlier that our fight is a spiritual battle. It's not blacks against whites or whites against blacks. It's good versus evil, right versus wrong. Yeah. And I want to say to the men, that you have a spiritual responsibility to protect your wife and children. The reason that they were able to take over the black community and the hearts and minds of black Americans is that they removed the man away from the family. If you take that man out, if you notice there's an attack upon men today. You know, they took the black man out, and the average black man isn't worth a dime today. He doesn't love to work, he doesn't love to get married, he doesn't love taking care of his family because he's been corrupt by his leadership and the government. There is a spiritual order to life, and that order is God in Christ, Christ over man, man over woman, and woman over children. And so they've destroyed the black man, and now they're trying to destroy the white man. They're saying to white men that you hate women, you hate black people, you want to control. Because they know if they can turn that man away from his family, they can come in and take over the woman and children. And women are going to, you know, when they are not married, they tend to rely on the government. So watch out for that, men. Do not give in to it. And I have to tell you, Barack Obama is the worst thing that could have possibly happened to our country. It's mind-blowing. It is absolutely mind-blowing to me that we have Barack Obama. And I want to tell you how it happened. Barack Obama is Jesse Jackson. Barack Obama is Louis Farrakhan. Barack Obama is Jeremiah Wright Jr. Barack Obama is the average racist black preacher in America today. This didn't just happen overnight. It's been building up for the last 50 years. When white Americans cowered down to Jesse Jackson and the NAACP and others for fear of being called a racist, you encourage evil to have its way. And so the average black person, not all but most, have been brainwashed to believe that white Americans are racist. They've been told that over and over and over again over the last 50 years. And so Barack Obama has been building up for 50 years. And we have a generation of black Americans who do not recognize that it is a spiritual battle. They see it as a black and white thing because white Americans have been allowed themselves to be afraid. I want to encourage you to overcome fear. The worst thing that you can have in life is fear. If you notice that if you're afraid of your children, they'll take over the home and put you out. And if you haven't noticed that, give it a try when you get home today. If you let kids have their way, they'll run you out of the household. Let them call you whatever they want. I have been called every name in the book, and then some. I've been banned from 3 radio stations in Los Angeles. I have been called Uncle Tom, a sellout. You hate your mama, you hate your daddy, you hate your color, you love white folks. I've been called nigger so much. You ever heard the word nigger? White folks are afraid of that word, huh? White people like, don't say that. And black people like, nigger, nigger, nigger. That word is not an issue for black people. They only use it to control you. Because if it was an issue, they would not use it themselves. But it's just another way to control white folks. You gotta get over the fear. I have been called nigger so much that I was telling my staff one day that I think I should change my name from JesseLee to Jesse Nigger. But because what they don't understand is that, first I have to tell you, I used to be a liberal Democrat, and I went to God and asked him to forgive me. I told him I was wrong. He forgave me, and I am a conservative Republican all the way, 100%. I don't want to start a new party. I want to enhance the Republican platform. We are about God, family, Constitution, and self-reliance. And that's what America is all about. So